You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Live from Smitty1.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Take a lap.
Yo, welcome to the show. My name is Smitty. I'm here with you for the next hour talking Kyler Murray, talking NFL news, talking NFL trades, NFL free agency. You know the drill. So leave a voicemail if you'd like on Instagram at The Fantasy Football Show. Send me a DM, leave me a voice message, hold down that record button and drop something. And if you're in my voicemail group, unload some voicemails, and let's get to those in a few minutes. Let's get into, Terry dropping an early super. Terry says, just changed my Google pick to my new Fantasy Football Show mask pick. Smitty, you're the man. We don't see it yet, but once it refreshes, Terry, I'll throw it on screen. And I appreciate your support. Kyler Murray pulls his offer. Kyler Murray pulls his offer. I'm not giving you an offer anymore, Cardinals. The Cardinals, Kyler Murray, I hate to break it to you. The Cardinals have never looked to offer a deal to you. The Cardinals, Kyler, are not trying to sign you to an extension. They've already made it abundantly clear that you need to come out and prove yourself. I'm gonna pull my offer. The Cardinals have yet to make Kyler Murray a contract offer. And if he's been watching my show, which apparently he hasn't, I've already broken this down for Kyler. They are not offering him a deal, and they've told him verbally, we will pick up your 2023 fifth-year option and have you play on that too. So he's got to play under contract in his fourth year, this contract right here. And then they're going to pick up his fifth-year option, and then they can franchise tag him. They have no interest in signing a player like Kyler Murray, who we call Juicebox Kyler. I'm a Cardinal fan, Okay, I'm afforded the right to complain in this case. You may say, stop being negative on players, Smitty. How dare you talk about my Cardinals? They're my Cardinals, okay? I have every right. I'm given the road here. Heed the road to your boy Smitty when talking about Kyler. And Kyler Murray, we call him Juicebox Kyler Murray, however you wanna call him, whatever. This guy is not showing he's a leader. He's written pretty much a ransom letter to the team saying he will hold himself away, or without saying he's holding out. Basically, if you want me to return, or if you want my services, or as his agent wrote, if you want Kyler's services, if you want to be taken to Super Bowls, upon Super Bowls, hand over fist Super Bowl trophies and MVPs, you will sign Kyler Murray, and you will do so now. They wrote this ransom letter practically to the team that didn't care, okay? They had already had these conversations. Similar to Debo, in how Debo's scrubbing social media and going through this process. You don't do this unless things have fallen apart, unless you've gone separate directions in the trade talks. People oftentimes say this is just a tactic, or like in the case of Debo's in the middle of trade negotiation. Of course you're going to scrub your social media. It's the new thing. You don't scrub your social media and start creating animosity between the two parties if you're in the middle of healthy and ongoing trade negotiations. Debo Samuel, I can assure you, is maybe heading back a little bit in the right direction, but they were not. When Debo scrubbed his social media, that was like him getting up, standing up at the car dealership because they put down a $645 a month payment in front of you on a little piece of paper and said, how do you like that? Debo got up, stood up, and walked out of the car dealership, in a sense, when he scrubbed his social media. Kyler Murray, you don't write a ransom letter to the team about your services, and you don't scrub your social media if you're in the middle of healthy and good trade negotiation. Kyler is obviously on one side of this, and the Cardinals aren't even at the other side of the table. Kyler's showing up to the table like this, and Kyler's saying, if you're not going to take my offer, I'm going to grab it and take it back. And the Cardinals aren't even sitting at the other end of the table. They have no desire to give this man, who's showing no leadership on the field, $100 million guaranteed or $150 million guaranteed. Aaron Rodgers is not a spring chicken, and Aaron Rodgers got 150 something guaranteed. Okay? There's no way. Pat Mahomes is like 140 guaranteed, even though he's got like a $450 million contract, which I don't think a lot of people remember that Pat Mahomes signed a $450 million 10-year deal. Do you guys remember that? A lot of people don't remember that because they're seeing these big numbers now, and they're like, oh my God, 230, that's the biggest ever. It technically is in terms of guaranteed money, but Mahomes has a $550 million deal, $450 million deal on 10 years. Now, it can be voided at certain points in the deal, so that's why it actually is lower than the 150 Aaron Rodgers guaranteed deal. But regardless, we're talking about players, quarterbacks getting 40 mil a year. We're talking about quarterbacks getting 150 to 120 to 100 million a year. Kyler would slot right in that like bottom part of what we're talking about here and get probably 100 to 120 mil a year. Now, thank goodness Derek Carr signed his deal before Lamar Jackson, because what did I tell you a couple shows ago? If Lamar Jackson was smart about this contract situation and got an agent, then he would have been told, hey, go chase the Deshaun Watson 230 guaranteed money. Get as close to the sun as you can and get a 200 million guaranteed money deal. Get a 180. Get as close to the sun as you can, because that is the sun. Deshaun Watson's contract wasn't going to be replicated probably for a long, long time. It's not like that's the new standard. It's the outlier that Lamar Jackson had control of trying to make the standard, or as close to the standard as possible. And Lamar doesn't want to go to the table. The Ravens want to negotiate a contract. They're waiting for him. They're the opposite of Kyler Murray. They're waiting at the table. Lamar's not even showing up to the table. And Lamar waited And now look, Lamar's not going to get anything close to the 230 because now we're back resetting the quarterback market a little bit and looking at Deshaun Watson's deal as an outlier, an asterisk. Yeah, don't worry about that. Kyler just wants a deal. The Cardinals don't want to give it to him. The Cardinals are not going to give it to him. We got a couple more super chats here. Appreciate you guys dropping these. Terry, thank you again for the super chat. I haven't seen your mask update yet, but it will probably come through my system in a minute. Baby Lemon. I'm not sure what we're talking about here, big dog, but I appreciate your super chat. I appreciate you, big dog. You're the man. What would you do if Kyler got traded for Jimmy G? I would lose it. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So stop spreading high blood pressure type situations for your boy Smitty. Anyways, right here, this report right here, the Cardinals have yet to make a contract offer to Pro Bowl quarterback Kyler Murray, whose agent informed the team weeks ago he was pulling the opening proposal off the table per sources. Other teams are monitoring closely. Arizona insists Murray won't be traded. Maybe Murray will be traded. Maybe Murray, yeah, can he put him in Pittsburgh? Look, I don't want him to be traded necessarily, but I'm all about fantasy football. You know, I'm a Cardinal fan at heart. Half my family's from Buffalo. That's why I'm such a huge Josh Allen and Buffalo Bills supporter. I am all about fantasy football though. First and foremost. Like I'm not gonna not want my Cardinals to be depleted, because trading Kyler would deplete us if we don't have a backup plan. Unless we go and trade for Tyler Huntley or something like that and put him in there. Yeah, Tyler Huntley, Smitty, he hasn't done anything here. Hello? He hasn't done anything, Smitty. Tyler Huntley, why would you want a man that's never proven anything? Look, I'm about predicting stuff, so I don't really care if the average bear out there watching doesn't understand me and understand that I'm predicting Tyler Huntley to be great if he gets a shot. Now, if he wastes away on the bench, his edge, his talent, all that will start to diminish. But right now, I'm okay saying I would take the gamble on Tyler Huntley because I don't think Kyler is a good fit right now given this situation. Obviously, they built the offense around him, but Kyler Murray, I'm not worried about. I'm not worried about Kyler Murray. I don't think we're winning championships with Kyler Murray. So if you could trade Kyler Murray for a big defensive piece or get some awesome draft capital, and then you could trade a second or third rounder for Tyler Huntley, which the Ravens would probably take to help improve their chances of winning now, then I would take that in a heartbeat. And on top of that, Kyler Murray, as much as I'm ripping on him not being able to win a championship here, maybe if he goes to Pittsburgh or something like that, like somebody commented here, T-Bone, we know he's not going to Pittsburgh, bro. We're just trying to map out an idea. Okay, T-Bone? So let us dream just a little bit, T-Bone. Let us dream just a little bit. Let us explore the avenues that probably are not available to us. And let me just explain the example. If Kyler Murray goes to a place like Pittsburgh, maybe he helps Pittsburgh and Najee and Deontay more than he's going to help anyone in Arizona. I don't know. Arizona wouldn't move him unless they had a plan. So if Tyler Huntley comes over, it doesn't leave Hopkins totally hanging. It doesn't leave the running game hanging. It will be okay. The Cardinals wouldn't just trade him away and not have a quarterback or a backup plan. They're not rolling with a backup quarterback. They would make something happen with Tyler Huntley, something like that. I'm telling you the option that provides Pittsburgh a better quarterback, even if it's Kyler. He's a better quarterback. You can't, from a Cardinals perspective, you can't upgrade Kyler very easily. We may not win championships with him because can he put together continuous playoff performances? Maybe he can. Maybe he matures. I'd give him the road to potentially improve. And if Kyler starts looking good and showing leadership, I want to be one of the first people to jump behind him and say, yes, I support Kyler Murray now. He's turning it around. That's not bandwagon fanning. That's not me being hypocritical or being wishy-washy. I'm critical of Kyler Murray as he is right now. Juicebox Kyler Murray right now in this moment is playing games and he's crying. He's showing no leadership on the field. He hasn't proven that he can lead the team. He isolates himself in the locker room. He blames the team. He said the team set him up for failure. He refused to go back in on the final snap of that playoff loss because he didn't want to embarrass himself anymore because the Cardinals embarrassed him. You tell me that's a leader? You tell me I have to support that right now? You're out of your minds. You're out of your minds. I'm not forced to support any of that, and I will stand up against it until I see a change. If I see a change, I'll support Kyler. That's not wishy-washy. That's being a hard, honest fan. And my point here is, if you trade Kyler somewhere, it's fine. I'm fine with it. I'd rather him try and do something different somewhere else as long as we had a very good backup plan. No, I'm not saying Jimmy. No, I'm not saying Baker. No, I'm not saying a scrub like that. There are very limited options. You know, whether it be getting a pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers pick, let's say Malik Willis fell, I'd be okay building around Malik Willis. I know Hopkins is not young, but yeah, Rondale Moore is. We have the 23 pick. Maybe we take Malik Willis with the Steeler pick. I'm just throwing out an idea. I'm not saying the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kyler Murray trade is going to happen or that it's even got legs. Somebody mentioned it in our chat, okay? So if we took Malik Willis and let's say we took Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker with that 23 pick, I know that's offensive heavy, Smitty. What do you think? Always thinking fantasy. But honestly, that's how I build this team back up. Malik Willis, Breece Hall, you got Rondale Moore. That's how I would do it. I would probably look to potentially blow it up if I felt like you'd be very close in that rebuild process behind a Breece Hall or a Kenneth Walker. That's how I would do it. If I was the GM, I'd have a really good contending team in 1 to 2 years getting aggressive like that. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel. Here's another piece of news here. Packers are giving former Ravens wide receiver Sammy Watkins a 1-year deal worth up to $4 million per source. Look, a lot of people are either clowning on this or getting excited. I'm not necessarily clowning on it, but I am not sure that Sammy Watkins is going to be the number one wide receiver in Green Bay. Let me put it that way, bluntly. It hasn't even crossed my mind. I hear people talk about it, and I just kind of chuckle because Lazard is in a much better situation than Sammy Watkins coming in to try and earn Aaron Rodgers' trust. It takes him a while to build rapport. Lazard is the number one wide receiver in Green Bay as of this moment. If they draft a rookie like Treylon Burks, if they draft a rookie like Olave, if they draft a Christian Watson, guess what? That player will, maybe by the end of the year, entering in the second year, assuming Aaron Rodgers doesn't leave after 1 year, then I believe that player will be the number one. That player will be the number one. Lazard is the number one wide receiver on the Green Bay Packers until you show me another wide receiver that isn't named Sammy Watkins that is a big upside talent that lands on the roster. DK Metcalf. Like the part that concerns me about this is I've been hearing Green Bay's going to make a splash at running back. Just wait. Is this the splash? Like, it better not be. This better not be the splash that they've been talking about. Before or on draft day, you're going to see the Packers aggressively go after the wide receiver position and get Aaron Rodgers a weapon. If this is it, Allen Lazard season is underway. And you can start getting excited if you own Allen Lazard because he's going to have 1,200 yards minimum and 8 to 12 touchdowns. Maybe 1,400 yards and 10 to 12 touchdowns. You can laugh at that if you want, but Lazard is the seasoned vet right there in Green Bay that knows everything Aaron Rodgers likes and doesn't like, and he's shown promise before, and Rodgers trusts him. And if you think Rodgers can't take a good wide receiver or even mediocre to good wide receiver in Lazard and turn him into a really good wide receiver, you haven't been paying attention and you don't understand the assignment, and you haven't for quite some time because Aaron Rodgers has been in the league quite a while, making Jordy Nelsons into Jordy Nelsons, making Devontae Adams into Devontae Adams, making Donald Drivers into Donald Drivers. Look, this has been this is the tale as old as time. Aaron Rodgers turns you into a stud. If you are the top wide receiver on the Packers team, you turn into a stud. Now, he might be a baby stud, a mini stud, a poor man's version of a Devontae Adams. I'm not saying Lazard's turning into a top 5 wide receiver, but if he is the top person on the roster in terms of the wide receivers, this guy is going to be very, very good. Not okay, not play good sometimes. If Lazard's healthy and they don't bring a DK Metcalf in, they don't draft a really big name wide receiver that can splash early, because it does take normally Green Bay Packer rookies a while to build rapport with Rodgers. He doesn't trust him right away. This is a different setup. There's no wide receiver but Lazard really there. I'm not factoring Sammy Watkins in yet. Number one, he can't stay healthy. Number two, he's changing offenses. Number three, it just takes time to get that rapport with A-Rod. He's going to get hurt or something. I'm not concerned about Watkins. He's a talent, or he was. Lazard's the guy. And if they draft Burks or Olave or Watson, then maybe. I feel like Lazard will lose some ground as the year maybe goes along, sure. Like Burks is NFL ready. Let me tell you something about Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks is the best chance to become the next Deebo Samuel in this entire 2022 NFL draft class. This 2022 NFL draft class has a number of good wide receivers, none of which feel Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson like. They don't. Even to say Deebo Samuel, that's a slot down from JJ and Jamar Chase. JJ and Jamar Chase, you take number 3 or number 4 overall in a dynasty startup. That is different than Deebo, who you take at 12 or 13 and hope he stays healthy. Like, there's some risk with Deebo. But Deebo's still a really good wide receiver, a guy you draft as your wide receiver 1 in dynasty or redraft. So I'm not trying to downplay Deebo. I'm just saying Deebo is the high mark for this wide receiver class, and Treylon Burks is the recipe, because Treylon Burks is the best route runner. Treylon Burks is the best all-around NFL-ready version of these wide receivers coming out. He's smooth. When he catches the football, he can navigate the field in open spaces. He can turn into what looks like a running back, like Deebo Samuel when he runs the ball, not a wide receiver. He looks phenomenal on his routes and his precision. And yes, he didn't run a great 40. He was like 4.55, but I don't care about that. Jerry Rice ran a 4.7 something. Like, I don't care about it. Anquan Bolden's like 4.7 or something like that. I don't care about the 40 time. I care about eyeballs. And when you see a player on the field, do they look good? Do they have game speed? Treylon Burks looks like Deebo Samuel on the field, and he reminds me so much of him. In fact, if the Niners do end up trading Deebo, they should 100%, my boy RSF 49ers, Dr. Raj agrees with this, they should 100% figure out a way to trade up, get into a spot that will guarantee them Treylon Burks, because if you replace Deebo with Treylon Burks, you might have a better chance of getting the most out of a wide receiver in that Shanahan offense, getting a guy like Burks that you can use similar to Deebo. So mark my words on that. If Treylon Burks lands in Green Bay, it will take him some time. Lazard will still have a really good year. Lazard will still be probably like Lazard will probably still be the number 1 wide receiver there for the majority of the year, and then maybe they kind of change over by mid-season. They start to go like this. I think Burks is that good. That's okay if some people like Matt, they think Burks is the 4th best wide receiver in the draft class. That's okay. Receipt season, Matt. It's receipt season, Matty boy. And I could be wrong, but I like him. And it's not to say one of these other guys couldn't beat him out, bro. It's all about situation, too. If Burks lands in a horrible spot, you're not going to see me peddling Burks out as the number 1 wide receiver. Landing spots matter. Landing spots are very important. Landing spots can take a good player and turn him great, take a great player and turn him good. So Burks has to land in a great place. Let's see here. Last time the Packers should have drafted a wide receiver was when they took Love instead. They should have taken Claypool. That would have been a phenomenal fit. Claypool was phenomenal. Yeah, so everyone can clown on Burks all they want. You know what? I heard the same thing. It's funny because some of you probably weren't even playing fantasy football back when I started, but there's always been those players like Adrian Peterson got so much pushback. There are times where you hit miss too, but like there are times where like you always are gonna hear negativity and doubt on some of these rookies. It's natural. Like there was so much doubt on Mahomes until Mahomes became who he became. There was so much doubt on Adrian Peterson. half of the fantasy football world and community thought Adrian Peterson would flat out bust when he got into the NFL. He was too tall, too upright, ran too upright. Like, I'm used to rookies are tough too, because again, landing spot can change everything. Burks could go from everyone's 4 to their number 1, or he can go from my number 1 to my 4 just based on landing spot. He's absolutely a monster. If you think Burks doesn't have the ability, okay, I understand if you've got like Wilson or London ahead of him, Matt, that's fine. Or Olave. Olave's got a little Rager to him. Like, he could be really good, or he could turn into Jalen Rager. Okay, so that's how I feel about Olave. I like Olave, but he's got that potential. It could go either direction. But if you think Burks can't have cups of coffee with every one of those players you just named, you have not watched enough Treylon Burks video footage. I can guarantee. If you watch enough of it and you still don't think Burks has what it takes, and you don't see a Deebo Samuel and a smooth operator running the football, catching the football, cutting, turning, knifing, finding gaps in open space, then I don't really know how to help you, because Burks has footage that makes your jaw drop. Okay? So go ahead and look. Burks is the 3rd or 4th best wide receiver. Bach, you can think whatever you want, pal. And that's what I love about fantasy football, but I think you need to go watch some more film on Burks. That's all I'm saying. Kyler is a crybaby. He absolutely is, Kels. Finally, we agree on something. Is your room soundproof? A little bit. I mean, I've got foam. There are parts of it that aren't. But yeah, it's got a lot of sound barriers in it. But no, fully soundproof? No. Like, can you stand outside my door and hear me scream? Absolutely. But I'm a little louder than the average person, Nev. So that could be a problem. Smitty, you should post on your blog channel. I know, Nevin. It wasn't getting a lot of, not that I don't want to keep doing it, but it wasn't getting enough traction to, at the moment, I have 3 YouTube channels. You guys need to subscribe to the Dynasty channel. Go to, let me put it in the chat. Go to youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. And I'm going to start posting daily on there. I've been getting a lot of other stuff prepared for the 2022 NFL draft and stuff like that, so I have been a little laxed on posting daily on the Dynasty channel. But youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Sub to my Dynasty channel. Please go do that now. I'm going to pin it right now. If you don't do it, you're going to be sorry, because I'm going to make this channel try and not take a single thing away from this channel right here, but try and make that channel rival this one. And if you're not a part of it, you're going to be upset that you weren't there from the ground up. So here is the Dynasty channel is about to take off. Look forward to the Dynasty mock drafts. We're going to do all Dynasty mock drafts over there. So thank you. Appreciate that. Here is the link. It's youtube.com/Dynasty Fantasy Football. It is pinned in the chat. Make sure you go do that. The vlog channel, I don't want to, I might get back to the vlogging, but it's about time balance, and I don't want to take away from the Dynasty channel, or take away from the main channel, or take away from Instagram. I do kind of like the vlogging on my stories, so make sure you're following me on IG. Am I worried about the QB change down the road for you all? For Kyler, QB change down the road. The plan is to hold Kyler this year, pay him on his 5th-year option next year, and franchise tag him if he plays good. So we don't have a change plan for Kyler. Kyler's just not getting paid. Everyone sees this as Kyler's leaving. Like, we may trade him. That's possible. But this right here doesn't mean we're losing Kyler. He's got his 4th year upcoming, a 5th-year option, and then we can tag him. And then we could tag him again. We could literally keep him 4 more years with ease, without even blinking, without batting an eye. We can keep Kyler for 4 more years. Kyler has no control. Players act like they have control, and some teams allow them to have that perceived control because they don't want the drama. But players don't have much control other than creating unrest, which the Cardinals clearly don't care about, or they would have traded him already. We're right about to head into the NFL draft. Maybe Kingsbury gets an offer. He says, you know what? That's better than worrying about and dealing with Kyler. I'll take it. Any coach could take any offer at any moment. But we have no worry about losing Kyler Murray. He can't walk away. He's under contract for 2 more years. And then we could tag him. Is Dynasty better than redraft? They're both good. I like redraft in a sense you can redraft every year if you mess up or something. I like Dynasty because you can grab guys like Breece Hall right now and own them for however you want. 10 years, you could draft Josh Allen and own him for 12 years. You can own him until he, retires. So Dynasty is really fun. Make sure you're subscribed to the Dynasty channel. I have it pinned in the chat. You want to make sure you subscribe to it because we're gonna make it blow up, and I'm gonna start doing daily shows on the Dynasty channel. Here's another Cardinals piece of news. My Cardinals in the news today. Cardinals announced that they have reached an agreement with AJ Green on a 1-year deal. Yeah, I mean, that's good. AJ did pretty well last year considering, so it's not horrible, but he's getting older. It's Rondale Moore season, people. Mark my words. I'm going to put his name on screen right here so everyone remembers it. Rondale Moore. It's Rondale Moore season. Get your Rondale Moore shares. Get them now. Because this kid has so much upside and potential and ceiling value. Granted, he could get misused again because he did last year. He had opportunity last year. Hopkins went down, and what did Cliff Kingsbury do? Nothing. He didn't use Rondale Moore. He should have used Rondale Moore. I don't know why he didn't use Rondale Moore. Hopkins was down. Kirk was thinking about his Christian Kirk bag that he was about to get. This guy had an opportunity, and Kingsbury crapped the bed. So there's risk that Kingsbury does that again. But how big's the risk? Not high, because Rondale Moore's going nowhere near top 6, 7 round value. You're talking about way late in your draft, like 8, 9, 10. I don't know where yet. But Rondale Moore is a wide receiver 4 or wide receiver 3, 4 on your team. And he can be an absolute monster. This kid can out-squat almost every lineman in the NFL. Did you hear what I just said? Want me to repeat it if you're in the back there? Rondale Moore, 5 foot, what is he, 5'7"? 5'7", 5'9", somewhere between 5'7" and 5'9". I don't know what the real number is. Let's call it 5'8". Let's go in the middle. He's around 5'8", and he's 190-something pounds, whatever. Dude is built like a mini refrigerator. He's short, but he's stocky. And this dude can out-squat almost every lineman in the NFL. Do I need to repeat it a third time? This dude is a refrigerator. And he's amazing in that jet sweep Deebo Samuel role. Maybe you don't want to run him in the A-B gap and run him up the gut like a running back in that sense, but can you give him Deebo Samuel-esque jet sweeps, end arounds, or maybe a 2-yard pass behind the line of scrimmage and then he knifes his way 47 yards down the field? That's what I mean when I say use him like Deebo. Use him as a wide back, but not behind the line of scrimmage. Although he could probably handle it because the dude can out-squat most linemen, if not all of them, in the NFL. Not to mention he can throw the bench press up. What? Somebody look up Rondale Moore's bench press. I think it was 24 times or something crazy like that. Dude's vertical, unreal. Breakout potential written all over him. Rondale Moore. He's got Antonio Brown meets Deebo Samuel, even though he's not built like Deebo, so take it however you want, Bob, before you start yelling, "He's not built like Deebo. Did he just call him Deebo?" When someone compares somebody to somebody else, they better exactly match them pound for pound, inch for inch, style of play for style of play. You can't compare him to Deebo Samuel, Smitty. That's just not, you just can't do it. I did, I will, and I'll continue to. He's Deebo Samuel meets Antonio Brown. Somebody look up his bench press numbers. I need them. I need an assistant here. I need to get Doug in here at a station, just looking up stuff whenever I want. Ziggy, how many times did Rondale Moore bench press at the combine? I don't even know if I worded that right.
Here's something I found on the web. According to fansided.com, Moore ran a 4.6 in the 40-yard dash at the combine and put up 21 reps at 225 pounds in the bench press.
21 reps at 225 for a smaller guy. And I know people are going to say 4.6, he's not fast. He's quick, okay? There's a difference between open field running where you're sprinting. Why does Ziggy say 21 reps? Yeah, that 4.6 can't be right. What? That's the wrong Rondale Moore. Ziggy, you don't know what you're doing. Rondale Moore 40-yard dash. Ziggy, you just... $4.3. 4.3. What's Ziggy saying 4.6? Even if it was like a 4.5. Yeah, 4.6 sounded slow. I was about to try and defend that. I'm like, maybe I should defend that. 4. Ziggy sucks. That's the wrong Rondale Moore. Ziggy, you're worthless.
I'd like to know what went wrong.
Everything.
If you want to give me more details,
Ziggy, off.
just
Rondale Moore, did he really run a 4.229? 4.29. Rondale Moore ran a 4.29. I was going to say 4.6. Wait a minute. Why am I even defending? He couldn't have run a 4.6. There's no way. 4.4. 4.4. Like, let's say Rondale Moore, just to defend 40 times. Let's say Rondale Moore ran a 4.4, because 4.6. 4.55 is what Traylon Burks ran. And 4.55 sounds slow, guys, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. 4.55, you can still be very quick, like Deebo Samuel-esque speed. And Deebo's plenty fast, okay? That's how Rondale Moore runs and looks and will be at the NFL level. Mark my words. I'm sorry, Traylon Burks. Rondale Moore runs a 4.2940. Can bench press. How many bench? I can't. 24 times, I think it is. I think it's in the chat. 24 times. He put up 225 24 times. This dude's 5'8", runs a 4.2940. Put up the bench 24 times. 5'7", 5'8". There's different numbers out there. Here are the officials. 49ers going to give us an official. Rondale Moore ran a 4.37 official. 4.32 pro day, which at 5'8" is good for a height adjustment speed of 91.9. Thank you, Niner. We got a couple different numbers getting thrown at us, so let's just use the average. Call it 4.340, okay? 4.340, not 4.6, Ziggy. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of your... Ziggy, you should be ashamed of yourself. He didn't even respond. He just cowered. Tucked his tail. Coward. What's this? What's Drew saying? Drew says Matt Clamp. Yep, Jimmy G would lead the Cardinals and manage the game better than Kyler. I don't know about that, Drew C. Drew C is the top super chatter of the year so far, up at the top there. Anybody wants to knock off Drew C? Even if you can't do it in one super chat, you just do it in back-to-back super chats. All you got to do is try and beat off that 105. Don't let Drew C just sit there all year dominating the crown. Drew C, top super chatter of the year. We got to do something like whoever ends the season as the top super chatter of the year gets some kind of cool bundle of all kinds of stuff. What's up, my boy, Dr. Raj, RSF 49ers in the house. Go follow this man on IG. Do you guys know that Dr. Raj, RSF 49ers, is the biggest? He's about to go over 200,000 on Instagram. The biggest fan page or team page, I think, on Instagram, period. So, Dr. Raj, we salute you. He's the man. Yeah, Drew C said something about Jimmy D, and I'm sorry, Drew C. Even though you're the top super chatter of the year, I had to close it out because it was giving me high blood pressure. Raj knows what I'm talking about. Drew C tried to talk about Jimmy G in Arizona, and I just closed the window as fast as I could. I just closed it. Free super sleeper you. Yeah, no, it's going to be better than that, official. The top super chatter of the year will probably win something like... a lifetime content membership at sleeperu.com, a 30-minute Zoom lunch call with your boy Smitty, and also text advice for 2 years, and maybe even something else. So the top super chatter of the year, we'll get that at the end of the year. So we'll figure that out. Maybe that'll happen like at weeks. No, maybe it'll just be when the clock turns, when the ball drops and it turns into 2023. So the person at the end of the year is going to win that. So boom. Quad Bach episodes are goated. Thank you, Spacula. All right, let's go to the voice messages and hit those. Here we go. Bruce.
AJ Green re-signed with the Cardinals and Sammy Watkins signed with the Packers. Which one has a bigger impact in fantasy this year?
Rondale Moore, the Bruce. If you've been listening, Rondale Moore. I'm not worried about AJ Green. I'm not worried about Sammy Watkins. I'm worried about Rondale Moore, who probably costs you right around the same value. So I refuse to answer the question. You can't box me in. You can't box me into answering a question that I feel is irrelevant. Sammy Watkins, I suppose. But I don't like either, the Bruce. Appreciate you.
What's up, guys? So what are we thinking about Damien Harris this year? Is he going to be a feasible running back, or is Ramondre Stevenson taking some carries away? Obviously, he had a good year last year, but Harris was still dominant. What do we think? Is he a decent number 2, or maybe not?
It might be smart to cuff him. I think if you don't cuff him, you don't know what you're getting. So I'm a little more apt to take Ramondre later because he'll probably go later. I think people will remember what have you done for me lately with Harris. I like Harris, and I loved Harris last year when he could be had very cheaply. And in some cases, he got cut. And you pick him up, and or you could trade for him very cheaply in a deal. So I like Damien Harris at that level, but we got to see where his ADP is. Ramondre's ADP will probably be a lot later, and I believe he will start games in 2022. It's just a matter of time. Harris and Harris by himself is hard to, in my opinion, invest in. I like him. If his ADP fell to like 8 or 9 round range, I think I'd be in. So it kind of depends. What's his ADP? Let's look it up. Damien Harris, 4.3. That's garbage. There's no way. This ADP data that we have right now to work with is garbage. There's no way he's going at 4.3. Is that factoring in like mid-season ADP data from mock drafts in the middle of the year when the computer was continuously piling on? 4.3, 4.3, 4.3. Like, what is that? What is that? Let me find another source. 4.3 is garbage. Double that. Very, very best case scenario is double that. Let's look at this ADP data. That's MLB data, Smitty. ADP data. Let's look at Fantasy Pros, and I don't know that it's updated. So let me go ahead and see ADP consensus. Let's go with the 2022 consensus expert rankings, but your boy Smitty has something to do with that, right? Your boy Smitty's number 1 on Fantasy Pros over the last 3 years in tight end ranking. I finished 1 3 years ago. I finished number 1 1 year ago, and I don't know if I finished like 17 or something in the middle year, but I finished number 1 overall 2 of the 3 years, and my average of the 3 years is number 1 overall. So your boy Smitty knows what he's doing when it comes to ranking the tight end position. It's how Dad did it. It's how Smitty does it. And Harris, 50 overall for, is that running? No, that's overall. 50 overall? Is Damien Harris really going 50 overall? That's literally like 4. That's the 4th round. That ADP before was kind of accurate. There's no way I'm touching Damien Harris in the 4th round. I wouldn't touch Damien Harris in the 5th round. And I like Damien Harris. Yeah, Spacula says 5th round. That's unbelievable. I was thinking like if he was in the 7th or 8th round, I'd probably take a chance. But 4th or 5th round, that is out of control. That is risk written all over it. That is so risky. I'm not saying he can't earn it, but there's no way I'm paying 50 to 57 overall for Damien Harris. I would like 5th, 6th round maybe, and then cuff him to Ramondre. Where's Ramondre going? I'd just rather draft Ramondre. Stevenson, 101. Give me Stevenson at 101. Someone else can take Damien Harris at 50. Not that I don't think he could do well. I'm just saying it's not advisable. Stormcat.
Smitty, how you doing? Stormcat here. We all know that Russ Wilson was able to support 2 very good fantasy receivers over the last couple of years with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on how well Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy might fill their shoes this year. Like, what percentage of the stats that those other 2 attain do you think that Jeudy and Sutton might be able to achieve? Thanks.
Well, to answer in general, I would say this. I would say Jerry Jeudy better be the top wide receiver there, given he's a top 5 route runner in the NFL. Or if you want to say that's too bold at this point because he hasn't done anything, I get it. But this guy, Jerry Jeudy, coming out of college, was scouted as a potential top 5 route runner before he even hit the field. So it's not like I'm just like cranking this out like and blindly saying it. Like, he was scouted as a coming into the NFL top 10 route runner. Like, coming in, you got a top 10 route runner right from the jump. He's had a rotation of garbage quarterback play his entire career so far, his young career. And so there's Terry says 61 in here, hit the thumbs up. We only got 42 likes. Punch that thumbs up button. So, like, you got to think to yourself if there's some truth to that. And there's got to be, because everyone and their mother scouted it. And when you watch the film, he's a very good route runner. He's got to work on not dropping the football. A couple other things, granted. But this guy's going to be handed this is the guy, Russell Wilson, that goes into the accuracy challenges and just destroys everybody. He can throw raindrop dimes into the corner of the end zone. Jerry Jeudy being a top 5 to 10, let's be loose with it, top 5 to 10 route runner in the NFL. That's being very loose based with it, okay? Top 10. Give Russell Wilson a top 10 route runner, and I will give you a very high scoring production wide receiver. I will give you freaking Lockett numbers at least. Now, do I think that you're going to be able to define one as the DK and one as the Lockett? I think that's a bad way to look at it, because the Lockett version in Denver will probably be better than the DK version in Denver. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like because you're the DK like frame, you're going to produce DK numbers. I think Cortland Sutton is the DK-esque frame, but I think that Jeudy is got the DK talent, and Judy's going to be an absolute monster if he can stay healthy. If he can't stay healthy, then Tim Patrick's going to step up. Hamler's coming back from the ACL, but if he does get healthy, he could step up and be a big time sleeper. Albert O, the tight end, is going to be spread out wide. He's going to be playing wide receiver part-time and being lined up in tight and playing tight end. He'll be all over the field. So Albert O is going to get a lot. Javonte could catch 60 to 74 receptions. Javonte might be the second best wide receiver on the roster. He might catch 60 to 75 balls, let's say. That is insane. And you could say, oh, Russell Wilson doesn't throw this. Don't give me any of that. Don't try and tell me what Russell Wilson's capable of doing coming from a different offense in Seattle where they've had Chris Carson as the best running back any time in the recent years, who catches like 35 to 43 balls. Javonte's different than, don't compare Chris Carson to Javonte Williams. Don't try and limit and put Wilson's stats in a box trying to define what Javonte's capable of catching wise in this Denver offense. Russell Wilson will feed him. Russell Wilson will target him. Russell Wilson's smart enough to know how to find an open player, and this is a playmaker. When you throw a football to Javonte Williams, and Javonte Williams can take that ball and make 4 or 5 people miss tackles because he's the number 1 tackle breaking running back in the NFL, even though he played just half time. If he knows that if I throw the ball, I've got good pattern recognition. I throw the ball to Javonte, he makes 3 or 4 people miss, and we get a first down every time. You think Russell Wilson's not going to feed Javonte Williams the football? Like, this is a different breed of running back. This is a top 1 to 2 running back potential guy in Javonte Williams. And Jerry Jeudy is my answer. But injury could definitely, change the game there. Bruce!
Smitty, I might take a lap on this one.
I bet you will.
Kyler Murray said he ain't playing without a new contract. Should the Cardinals trade for Baker Mayfield?
Number one, Bruce. Number one. Where's my video clip? Where's my Javonte Williams get Javonte video clip, the Bruce? You tell your mom that I helped her get Mahomes in a trade. And she won her championship because your boy Smitty helped her upgrade at quarterback and buy low on Patrick Mahomes before he started doing a lot better. When he was down low, people were totally just tossing him around like a rag doll. Your boy Smitty came in and I patched that up. I said, Mrs. the Bruce, let's get Mahomes on this roster. We orchestrated a trade. Where is my video clip, the Bruce? For those that don't know, the Bruce's mother is a legend on the show. One time the Bruce's mother sent me, this is his actual footage of the Bruce's mother, and she became a legend.
Go ahead.
Getting land.
Her sending me this wonderful audio clip that you hear all the time.
Baked in, boys.
That is the Bruce's mother. She is legend here on the Fantasy Football Show, and all I want is what's coming to me. The video clip of getting Javonte'd. Okay? That's all I want. That's all I want. To answer your question, the Bruce, no, I don't want Baker Mayfield. And to answer your question, we're not scared of Kyler going anywhere, the Bruce, because he is under contract not only this year, but we can pick up his 5th-year option, and then we can franchise tag him, and then we can franchise tag him. He ain't going anywhere. What's he going to do? Hold out? Yeah, maybe. Go play baseball? Good luck. I'd get more enjoyment watching him try and play baseball than have him on the Cardinals because it's not going to work. You're not going to step away with all this time off and climb the MLB ranks and get onto the field. He's not going to get it done. He's not. I would enjoy watching him try because that's arrogant of him to leave an opportunity where he can be. All he's got to do is step up and play one more year. Okay? This is his 4th year. Okay? Your 4th year. You played 3 years, Kyler, and you crapped the bed in your 3rd year. The most recent year, your 3rd year, you crapped the bed. You got hurt, which everybody gets hurt, but you crapped the bed. And then you cried like a baby and didn't go back onto the football field and snap the final snap with your teammates, and then had the audacity to say that the Cardinals, not you, not the team as a whole, the Cardinals, the Cardinals, they embarrassed me. They set me up for failure and embarrassment. You think we're going to pay you $125 million when you're flirting with the idea of going and playing baseball? You got to be out of your mind. Kyler Murray. Terry.
Smitty, I got an NFL draft weekend question. With it being the whole weekend, how do you do with on the show?
Oh, yeah, so this is an old one. Terry wanted to know my specifics for how I'm going to go ahead and take care of the NFL draft, and it's going to be just as much as I'll be online a ton. Don't worry about it. Just have your notifications on. You'll be alerted. I'll be going live before. I'll be going live probably a lot during. I might be on Instagram live during the entire first round, though. Not sure yet. So stay tuned on that. But then I'll be live right after, analyzing every pick. Live pretty much all night, going on and off.
Hey, Smitty. Hey, listen. Heard some disturbing news. Dwayne Haskins killed in an automobile accident today.
This is older.
Moment of silence.
I didn't get to it yet.
For Dwayne Haskins.
Moment of silence. True.
Holy cow. Just goes to show you how precious life is. Take it easy.
Appreciate you.
Hey, Smitty. Alan Lazard to the freaking
Moon.
Moon.
Oh, yeah, it's going down. It's going to happen. What do you think? Let me know.
Absolutely, broski. You know the drill.
Live from Smitty1.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Wipe your feet at the front door. Let's go!
Do it. Do it.
Hey, Smitty, I see David Carr gets the bag. Holy cow. And Alvin Kamara. Maybe he gets jail. Oh, what a big mistake it was to beat him.
Oh, man. The voice of the show. The voice of the show. Dude cracks me up. It's my boy. Okay, so basically, guys, do we have any more voicemails? You said David Carr. Rondale Moore, go get him. Go get your man Rondale. Do it live. I think he left me another one. Hold on, here's another one.
Live from Smitty1.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show, live every night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
No lies here.
Make sure you wipe your feet at the door.
There's no lies here.
Welcome to all the little Smittians in Smittyville. Let's get this Fantasy Football Show started. Wipe your feet. Click the like button. You know what to do. Now let's go.
Maybe we need to put that in the intro. We'll put that in the intro. Spacula says, Smitty is the mystery man familiar with the show. Absolutely. Josh Jacobs is going to have a good year. Maybe, Prime. Maybe. He's definitely the one guy. There's one player in the entire fantasy football world that I say don't listen to me on because I'm a little bit biased against the player. I'm pretty good at leaving my bias at the door. Like, I pretty much, like example would be DeAndre Swift. I'm not biased against last year's prediction. I don't let the fact that, and I believe in part I was right on not, he was going at like 12 and 13 at big parts of the offseason, and he's going way too high. I don't let that influence me walking into the next year. I don't. I'm probably one of the best at not letting bias interject into my analysis year by year or even week by week. If I'm doubting a guy and he looks good, I can change directions. I know a lot of people think I dig my heels in on some stuff, but I don't. I'm just firm on some of my beliefs that strong, and I try and beat the drum and beat the dead horse so that everybody knows what time it is. In the case of Josh Jacobs, I can't see clearly. This man blocked me on all social media. He disrespected the entire fantasy football world when he told all of us that he was not going to play one game, and then he did, and laughed at everybody that he screwed their fantasy up, threw the bird emoji on his stories and said F your fantasy, and tried to fight people at the stadium, gave the address out, said come meet me at the stadium, because they were so mad at him telling everybody he wasn't going to play, and then he played. It just rubbed me the wrong way, and his decision making is entirely questionable. So for me, I just stay away from him. I can't trust the man. I can't trust the man that does all those things. You don't know what you're going to get. Seems like a head case to me. And so I stay away from Josh Jacobs, but I tell you up front, I'm a little biased against the guy. And it's not just because he blocked me. I don't care if he blocked me on social media. I've been blocked before. But the worst is when you're blocked when you're saying nice things about a player. Like, this guy's going to go crazy. Blocked. What? Don't worry about it, Spacula. Don't worry about it. Appreciate you, though. Thoughts on Michael Irvin disagreeing with Tyreek and Tay Adams trade? Look, I've been saying what Michael Irvin's been saying, so I'm not going to disagree with what Michael Irvin's been saying. I've said from the start, both of those trades, what on earth is Tyreek Hill thinking? If let's say Tom Brady got traded over to Miami, then we'd be back to, okay, great. Now we're talking Tyreek Hill to the moon. But Tua, Waddle, that offense will be very, very exciting. But with Tua commanding it, Tyreek Hill is not going to probably produce what he did in KC. And I've said that from the beginning. He's dropped on my rankings. Devontae Adams, I know a lot of people want him to score the same amount of points and be as good in Vegas, but he won't be. He won't be, in my opinion. I don't think he'll be near the touchdown targets that he was in Green Bay. Maybe he can get near the yardage totals or close. I don't think he'll get the receptions or the touchdowns. I think he'll be lesser. And yeah, he's got rapport. I get it. He's got rapport with Carr that dates back to college, but he's a different player now. And they haven't played together on the field in a while. It's not like it just 100% always comes back. And number two, the offense won't feed him enough work, in my opinion. So I'm not feeling that it's going to be a better situation. Do I think it'll be awful? No, I don't feel like it'll be awful, but I feel like he's not going to be top 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 overall. He's in that 6 to 8 range for me. So that's how I feel. And so I 100% agree with Irvin. But sometimes it's not all about numbers. Sometimes people want to be happy. If Devontae Adams feels happier in Las Vegas and they think they can win, which I think they're going to be hard-pressed to. I think they're going to be hard-pressed to make the playoffs every single year. Because even if you have a double-digit win season, you're going up against the toughest division in football, in the Broncos, the Chiefs, and then you got the Chargers, who I think are going to win the division, and then you've got to grab one of 3 wild card spots. And let's say the Chargers win, you got the Broncos, you've got the Chiefs, and yourself, the Raiders. That's 3 teams right there. So if all 3 of them made it, then no one else would make the playoffs aside from the division winners. And then if you want to toss in Miami and New England and Indianapolis and the Ravens and the Bengals will probably win the division, so we won't toss them into the wild card race. But you're talking about a grip of teams you've got to compete with inside your own division as well, to compete with those teams for the 3 wild card spots. I just don't know that going to Las Vegas is going to turn into more winning, more championship game appearances, Super Bowls. No, I don't see Derek Carr winning a Super Bowl. I don't. It's not that I hate Derek Carr. I have nothing against Derek Carr. But everybody talking about top 5 quarterback numbers, I don't see it. The quarterbacks are too deep. There's no way Carr, in my mind, is even close to a top 4 or 5 or 6 quarterback. He's 10. He's 10, 11. You could say 9. I wouldn't make you take a lap on 8, 9, or 10. I wouldn't. But he's not in my top 10. He's not inside my top 10. And there are just too many amazing teams out there. And the Raiders could be a double-digit win team every year and struggle to make the playoffs even one of the next 4 years. That's just how I feel about the situation. I could be wrong. You never know. Here's Terry's mask. Atta boy, Terry. Let's put Terry's picture up. This is wonderful, Terry. Terry bought the Fantasy Football Show mask for the 19. And look at Terry. Look at Terry sporting it. Terry's watching the show with the mask right now. So dedicated to the show. He's got it on inside his living quarters with the mask on. Total beast. That's going to do it for the show today. As always, I will be live if there's an emergency. I know a couple of people said that I should have went live during the Derek Carr situation, and I would have if I was around. I would have if it was a bigger piece of news, I would have done it live from my phone. Like even if I'm out and about getting food or something, I will go live the minute big breaking news breaks. But Derek Carr's situation, I probably will in most of those cases. It just happened that was a smaller piece of news. It was an extension, like he already had his contract. The reason I was going to go live is the implications that contract has on other quarterbacks and Lamar and all that. So it's important to talk about. But he's not on a new team. It wasn't a trade. It was just adding money to his deal. And then the Sammy Watkins thing, give me a break. I could have went live to shoot it down and been like, Sammy Watkins traded, what's this mean? Absolutely nothing. But we're live doing an emergency shoot the news down live stream, But anytime anything crazy breaks at all, your boy Smitty's going to be live, okay? That's just know that. If you're good Lord. If you're watching If you're watching the Newswire and something comes along and you think, holy crap, that's huge news, where can I go find info from it? Your boy Smitty's live. Go to his YouTube channel. Anytime breaking news, go live. Breaking news, go live. Slap yourself so you remember it. Appreciate everybody. Subscribe if you're new. Punch the thumbs up button.
Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and wipe your feet at the door.
Wipe your feet at the door. Hit the subscribe button on the way out the door. And for goodness sakes, help your boy Smitty out. Get on over to smitty1.com and click on this underdog banner that's right at smitty1.com. Deposit $10 minimum through the link at smitty1.com. Not only do you get a free phone call from your boy Smitty, use it for your draft, whatever you want. 10-minute phone call, free. You and me talking shop. But I'll give you access to my video courses, all of them, that are going to be dropping throughout the week here and next week as I load the sleeperu.com video course section up with thousands of minutes of footage. How to dominate the 1.1, how to dominate from the 1.10. All of the 12 picks I will show you how to dominate from. How to trade into round one, how to trade out of round one, how to draft pick trade, how to create the two-headed and three-headed monster, how to negotiate trade, how to pinpoint the best trading partner, order of questioning when you're making a trade. How do you unveil what you want without giving away and sending the person running? All of that stuff at sleeperu.com. And if you want that free, all the video courses for free. First of all, you could just go to sleeperu.com and purchase the lifetime membership. The highest level membership will get you free text advice for 2 years with your boy Smitty. One-on-one text advice on my text line. This is my personal phone. This is my work phone. I literally go to the grocery store. I go wherever I go. When I do leave the studio and the house, and I say, Miss Smitty, I'm getting milk for you, okay? Oh, and yes, make the trade, Bob. Send the trade right now. Wait, Miss Smitty? Which one's Miss Smitty? I'm literally carrying both of these suckers around, constantly texting one-on-one with my people. That's how I do it. That's how I like it. It's one of my favorite parts about my job is talking with you guys throughout the day. So go to sleeperu.com. Sleeper, the letter U.com. Let me punch that so you can find that.
Want bold year-round rankings, trade calculators, and bold predictions? Get on over to Sleeper. U.com.
So sleeperu.com is where you can find my one-on-one text advice, my lifetime memberships, the video courses, all of that. And again, giving away free video course access, all that section for free for anybody that goes to smitty1.com, clicks on the underdog banner, deposits a minimum of $10. You will get the phone call and free access to the video course section. But if you want all of everything at sleeperu.com, get that lifetime membership, baby, and get the 2 years of text advice. Cooper Cup League, we got about 15 spots left in the Cooper Cup League. What is the Cooper Cup League, Smitty? It's only a 96-team league, follower league. But no, don't be intimidated by that, because there's 8 copies of every player in the player pool, meaning that your team will look exactly like it would with a 12-team league. It's going to be stacked. It's not going to be thin because it's 96 owners. 8 copies of every player make it like this.
I give you Fantasy Cup 2022.
15 rounds. 96 owners. That's 1,440 picks. 8 copies of every player in the player pool.
That means Jonathan Taylor will likely consume all of picks 1 through 8. And Henry and Cup could make up most of picks 9 through 24.
60-minute timer.
This draft could take 80 days to complete.
96 owners, 15 rounds, 8 copies of every player in the player pool.
1 division of 96. 1 winner.
I give you Fantasy Cup 2022.
About 15, 20 spots left in that league. So all you got to do is drop a $20 super chat or more. It's not an entry fee. It's not a money league. It's just anybody dropping big super chats, helping the show out. $20 or more gets a spot in this league. We're giving away one of these $100 to $300 fantasy championship rings that are like Super Bowl rings. They're absolutely amazing. See my name on it. It looks and feels like a Super Bowl ring. That's like $150 to $300 depending on the ring you pick. I'm giving away one of those from our boys over at Custom Fantasy Rings. And then on top of that, we got an autographed Joe Montana Jerry Rice Hall of Fame helmet going to the winner of the league. So join that by dropping a $20 super chat. Appreciate everybody here. Subscribe if you're new. I'm live anytime breaking news happens. Anytime big breaking news happens, come to my channel. I'm live, and I respond to every comment in my channel. Try me. Appreciate you, Terry, and the Bruce. Would the Bruce please report to the principal's office? Would the Bruce please report to the principal's office?